Welcome back, everybody. So I'm Giles, and today we're going to do something special. So I'm joined by my special friend, Thomas Kiss. Now, Thomas, where are you from?
I am from Las Vegas.
And he's all the way here in Denver. So this is pretty special. So what are we going to be doing today?
We're going to set up a nice two-channel audio system powered by Chord Electronics with an Aurender streamer and some very special speakers coming from Hungary called Bayz Audio, Courante 2.0s.
This is going to be bananas. So if you guys have been following along, you know I'm in the middle of reconstruction of the room for the TCL project, but I'm taking off a whole day to do this because this is really cool. This is kind of maybe not once in a lifetime, but it's not a common occurrence to have all these cool pieces come and drop in, particularly new pieces like this, because these Bayz they're brand new, right?
Yes, so the Courante 2.0 is actually now the third version of that speaker, new to the US. Okay, there was a previous distributor who did bring them to the country, but this is the newest version, the latest version, fully upgraded, very dynamic, very detailed speaker, ultra dynamic. I just love the sound stage, very accurate. What we bring to the table here is we brought an Aurender streamer, also something brand new, the A1000, which is like for Aurender like their Swiss Army knife. It will have HDMI, ARC, it will have AirPlay 2, it will have aptX, Bluetooth. So a lot of features which Aurender stayed away from, as most high-end, ultra-high-end streaming companies do, but they think they want to bring their technology to the wider masses.
I think it's great. I mean, that really speaks to me, because more technology for me is always better.
Yeah, they give you more flexibility, you know, how you can connect. Aurender was before just for two-channel audio. Now they understand that people want to use them in a theater. They maybe want to run their audio from the TV through it. Maybe their spouse, friend, girlfriend, friends want to stream to it and don't know how to use the app, so they can Bluetooth to it. So they brought a lot of things to the table, which makes it more appealing to the broader masses and dropped the price by a lot. We found a very limited drop in audio quality. As you know, as more pieces go into a product, something has to give.
Absolutely.
And they say it will be 90% of their better streamers with a way more wider range of input sources and flexibility. And I guess it will be a competitor to Hi-Fi Rose and Ever Solo. That's what they try to do.
That's cool. Well, follow along with us as we set this up. We'll talk through everything as we're putting it all together, and then we'll show off the final system there at the end. I'm really looking forward to it.
Good. Yeah. Let's start it.
Trying to stumble over stuff.
Okay, so what I brought here is the latest from Chord. We brought an Ultima 5 amp, and we brought an Ultima 3 preamp. So I did break them in, so they are not brand new. The only item which is new is going to be the Aurender 1000 streamer server. Everything else we tried to break in. So let's do this.
All right, let's see.
So
toys.
So we're staying away from any manufacturer accessories. We're not using the power cords. We're going to use all Shunyata. Here we go.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
Are the handles load bearing?
Yes, they are. See, we're going to just turn these over. It's somewhere. Where is it? Right here. So I'm going to grab this, and you can pull the bag down. I got it. This is cool stuff.
Yeah, these are some of the best looking pieces out there.
Okay, I brought silver because the black kind of blends in.
Oh, silver's way better. So I like silver. Silver sounds better to me. I know it's just a mental thing, but man, I love the silver.
Let's set the amp up. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But performance-wise, it is better. It is an upgrade. It's measurable. So as you see, this is the new one.
It looks good.
It looks good.
Yeah, it looks good.
Comes with the NR cable, the NR12. Pretty much this is the Venom NR12.
Is it built in?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's built in now. So so they say it's lighter. This has a 10, but this is literally the NR12 Venom. which is an $400 cable. You know.
Do you know what the material is on the outside of this?
I think it's some mix of.
It's like a nylon mesh.
Yes.
Kinda.
Yes.
Yeah.
But not detachable. All other power distributors from Shunyata, you know, you can detach the cable, but not on this one. That's the only one where you can't.
Well, you said it's a $400 price point?
Yeah.
That's really reasonable.
No, the cable is the $400. The whole piece is $900.
Oh, well, even $900.
Yeah.
$400 is a steal.
For Shunyata, yeah.
Yeah.
For Shunyata, it's nicely built.
Yeah, it's nice. Not bad.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna use that one. There's a big debate about it, but you know, companies like Shunyata believe in it. They actually have a process, you know, which they use where they, depending on the level of the cable you buy, they run it at least for 3, 4, 5, or up to 8 days.
Yeah.
And that takes away the breaking time.
Yeah, and I like that, you know, pre-broken in kind of things. That's
from the factory. I guess they know what they're doing. So let's do the preamp. This is also Chord.
All right.
Chord Electronics. So we're gonna. So these are both Ultima series amps and preamps. Still hand built in England. So as I said, we're not taking any of the accessories out because we're going to use Shunyata interconnects and power cords on everything.
Right on.
Okay.
It certainly is good looking.
Okay, here it is. Grab it. Oh, it is good looking and it sounds good. Very dynamic, punchy.
Right on.
Love it. The design is a thing. People either love it or hate it. You know, there is no in between. That's the only problem with. I actually personally love it.
I think it's quite nice too. Anything that's different to me is a bonus.
Okay. Let's start with it. Aurender does a really good job on packing stuff. I like this rubbery.
Oh, the box is perfect. The box
rubbery
is
material they use. Okay. Okay, here we are. Box in a box.
Box number 1, box number 2.
Yeah. But I love this material, very durable.
Yeah, it's not cardboard in the traditional sense. It's built like cardboard, but it's made out of plastic.
Yeah, so they say it's water rejecting and everything. Okay, let's get this baby out of here. Okay, let's get this baby. So like I said, this is the first time for me. Sell a lot of Aurender, but never had a A1000 in my hands. But as Aurender is known for the build quality, ultra tight cabinetry.
So there's an arrow pointing that way.
Yep. So this is the piece. Again.
Yeah, look at that.
Okay. I think they come with some cable too, network cable. Okay, let's look at it. So big screen as always, volume knob, input selectors, display where you can dim, change, input output switching. This is the power button. Let's look, pretty nice screen. Okay, we have analog out, digital in and out.
So that's
it.
Is that coax?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speedy. Then we have an optical in, an ARC in,
yep.
a USB audio in, and then we have a LAN connector. There is space for SSD or hard drives.
Nice.
2.5 inch, of course. As much as I know, you can go up to 14 terabyte.
Okay.
So this is a lot of processing power in there. And then here's your power button, of course.
Oh, so hold on, this guy right here. So this is 12-volt trigger out.
Yes.
So I love 12-volt trigger
Yes.
on gear. That is one of my favorite things.
You know, you go into your preamp and then trigger the rest.
Yep.
I didn't see if the cable comes with it, but we're gonna figure that out.
Yeah, I've got one if we want to play with it.
Okay. And then we have an USB audio out and a USB 3.0. for servers and etc. for an outboard server.
Yeah, nice.
NAS.
Love it.
So very flexible. I think you pretty much have every input you need.
Oh yeah, there's nothing you can't do with that.
Yeah. And like I said, this piece does Bluetooth, AirPlay 2. It is room ready.
Room ready, right on.
This is the first native room ready piece.
Nice.
Okay, so
it's using the RAAT
yeah.
from Roon. That's nice.
So let's set it up and let's see what we're gonna use on the cables. We may have a 12-volt trigger in here. That would be cool. Sadly, no. It only comes with a power cord, some AAA batteries, a remote, and a user guide, which does not come with a 12-volt trigger cable though, which is a bummer.
And for those that don't know, 12-volt trigger really is just, it's like a phono cable, a single.
Yep.
A single phono.
Like a 3.5 millimeters.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it is. So we
Do these guys have 12-volt trigger? I don't know. So high-end gear sometimes does not, you know.
Very simple. They do.
They do. Nice.
Yes, they do. Okay, so now we're gonna need some Ethernet cable. Okay, here's an Ethernet cable.
And if it's not live, we can make it live.
Okay, it's gonna be long enough for the Aurender. So let's get the power cords. So we have a. Should we try so this is the gold node, or should we try the new Gamma from Shunyata?
Yeah, we should try
Okay.
the Why not?
Let's try the new.
Shunyata is my favorite cable company. I mean, no disrespect to any other cable company, but yeah, these guys are awesome.
Some science behind it.
Uh-huh.
Every piece they manufacture, they white papers for it.
Yeah. So I don't know if people can. Let me show the end of this.
Alpha V2 interconnect. So we're gonna connect the Aurender A1000 with the Alpha RCA cables to the preamp, as the A1000 does not have XLR outs.
Right.
Okay. Okay, then here's what I brought is to try it out, the new Gamma speaker cable.
Nice.
So you have the honor to unpack it.
All right, everybody, here we go. Shunyata in the house. Pre-braided.
Yep.
Very nice. 2 pieces.
And as with any other speaker cable from Shunyata, they will mark the amp.
Yep. Yes, they're all directional.
Speakers. Yeah, they're all directional.
Yep. And then for folks here, these are spades on one side and plugs on the other.
Okay, I give you the honor. As you know, Shunyata changed their marking before black was positive, which is against the industry standards.
Yeah, so now
they're now finally, they make the gray the positive and black is the negative.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a change in there. So we have the Ultima series preamp from Chord Electronics, fully analog, and the Ultima 2-channel stereo amp, the Ultima 5 from Chord Electronics. New pieces for us. We just became a Chord dealer like a couple of months ago, and we are pleasantly surprised how dynamic and how way above their price point they punch, because this preamp is only $8,900. So in the high-end audio world, especially from Chord Electronics, that's a pretty
that's a good price.
Good price for an Ultima series piece, because as you know, everything's still hand built in England. A lot of technology. They came from the pro audio background. A lot of studios, world famous studios, like most people don't know that, like Abbey Road, or like Paul McCartney's home studio, is all powered by Chord Electronics. Okay, they have a big background in studio engineering. A lot of studio engineers, recording studios use their gear, and They were not as well known in the residential world, but they start now to bring out more and more consumer products, which I think look amazing. The build quality is amazing. Way underrated, the specs.
Oh, they're stunning. I mean, just look at them.
Stunning pieces. Like I said, what surprised me is that, like most people say, digital and analog sound, very analog sounding pieces, but when you read the specs, outputs in 8 and 4 ohm, we drove speakers which they should have not been capable to drive, but they do. High impedance. What else should I say? I mean, great build quality, smooth amplifiers. I just love the design. Nothing to love about it. Here's another thing. All their pieces are fully tested for hundreds of hours in the factory before they ever release anything. So high quality control. So nice. Every piece we got till now, we never had an issue on any of their pieces. I don't know. We like I said, we just started with Chord Electronics. We don't have that long of an experience with them, but whatever we had or we tested is just worth the money. Let's start. Let's connect the Aurender. We're gonna connect the Aurender A1000 with, as I said, with the Alpha V2 RCA cables, as the Aurender does not have any XLR outs. Which is pretty rare, that price point anyways, Agreed. This A1000 is retailing at $3,500. Okay, so I think it's gonna be the entry-level Aurender streamer server DAC. It can also be used as a preamp. So depending how you set it up, you can set it up direct mode or use it as a preamp and just get a 2-channel amplifier. Should drive most of the amplifiers. Voltage output is not that high, so bigger monoblocks, etc. You should not do it. But little stereo amps, we tried it out before with their A200 series and their A15, and then easily can drive some NAD amps, Macintosh amps, etc. Right, yeah. Even our Luxman amp, we have it set in one section. In
general, when you're using RCAs, the output voltage on that is lower than XLR all the time,
by 6
right?
dB.
Yeah.
It's lower with 6 dB.
It just is what it is.
But with efficient speakers, it should be working.
Yep. All right, so what do we got here? Shunyata?
Okay, so we got here Shunyata power cords and XLRs, also Alpha V2.
Oh yeah, these are cool.
So this is going to connect the preamp to the amplifier.
So for folks that haven't seen this before, pretty schwanky.
Remember, these are locking, so once you tighten up, don't try to pull on it. They're
not coming back out again.
Yeah. A lot of people grab them, pull on it, and we'll pull the whole Aurender with it. Of course, their interconnects are marked red and black. Not like their speaker cables in there.
Which is interesting, yeah.
It is interesting. Okay, so we have the interconnect, RCA cable, power.
How about power on the middle guy?
Power on the middle guy is still missing. I need one more power cord.
All right, let's see.
And then we're gonna do
hanging around.
Risers. On these speakers, 2 things to remember. Best sound field, best sound stage created is anywhere between 8 to 12 feet. Shouldn't go further away. As they're omnidirectional, everyone is going to enjoy the heights the same way. But they are rear ported. So we do want to stay away from the wall if possible, a couple of feet. We don't have, I think, the luxury here.
There's not a lot of space, yeah.
Not a lot of space, but we're going to try to stay as far away as we can without totally not sitting in the sound field. Because this is what, I think the best spot is going to be actually behind the chairs. Literally, if we put a chair there, even if it's something, I think that's where we're going to, I don't think we're going to create a good sound field in the front. So as I turn this on and the conductor app connected to the Aurender, normally they do an automatic update, which is only seconds. It's ultra fast. The chips they use are fast. So the streaming services you have to connect to through the app, of course. You can register yourself also for remote troubleshooting. If you ever have any issues, you could literally connect to someone. I think here one of the Aurender guys is over in New York, and then there's one on the West Coast. So you either connect straightly to Aurender USA, or if it's late hours, holidays, whatever, the Koreans will answer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
or nighttime even.
yeah,
Right?
you can request through email, through the app, tech support,
Right
and
on.
they can remotely log in and test and do a remote full resets, etc.
Right on.
We never
No,
had an
that's
issue.
super nice.
We never had an issue with that, except one of our clients did an update and his power went down. So like any other PC, that's a big problem.
Yeah.
We could not revive it, but Aurender Korea from Seoul revived
They got it.
Yeah.
Nice.
They
That's cool.
restarted it and
Just one thing. So, folks that aren't familiar with this gear, the top is a mesh, so you can actually see inside of it, and they light it for you too.
Yes.
It's really nice.
it looks cool. Helps a lot with the cooling.
Uh-huh.
So they still have big heat sinks in the back, but it's nice looking, nice design. You see the boards, everything, but it helps with keeping the gear cool. So Aurender allows you to use a couple of streaming services. Tidal, of course, Qobuz, which is my favorite, personal favorite, has net radio. Okay,
Right.
and I think they also do now Spotify Connect, and
Oh, that's
so
really nice. Not a lot of people are doing this.
so here it is. I just went to this app, and it shows you integrated services. That means,
Right.
so whatever you do in the Aurender app, you highlight an artist, you favorite an album,
it pushes it
will
back up to
push it
Qobuz.
back to
Yeah.
Qobuz Tidal. Internet radio, you can create your favorites. I think there's over 30,000 radio stations on there. And then external services, as we talked about, AirPlay, Google Cast, Spotify, and Tidal Connect.
Yeah.
So here we are now in the user ID, user interface, which controls the Aurender, shows me all the streaming services, the possible searches I can do. As you know, we only logged into Qobuz right now. This is the Qobuz logo. Here's the Net Radio logo. Here's the Spotify and Tidal. You would have to log into the other ones too. Net Radio does need a login. It's free. May come with some commercials. The first square logo here, the Aurender logo, is actually the library on the Aurender. As we didn't store anything, it's 0. Okay, but we can populate this very fast. We can go to our streaming service of choice. So now it shows here my albums, which I stored.
Right.
There's 473. When I go to artists, it's going to show that I have 131 favorite artists stored. And then songs. So songs, I have 1,823 songs. These are mostly demo songs. And then we have playlists. So this is showing now not my favorite playlists. This would be playlists on my Qobuz thing. But when I go to my favorite, you have to scroll here. A lot of people will not realize that this scrolls. There's a lot more behind here. But watch this. So these are Qobuz favorites. But I'm going to go to my playlists, and now it suddenly populated 29 playlists. So when I click on classical piano, it shows 13 songs. And you say, okay, now I have to do everything manually. Yeah, click here and add to next, add to my library. So this is where you're going to populate all your favorite songs, artists, albums, playlists from your services like Tidal, etc., and now add to your library.
Right, and that puts them in Conductor.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that puts them, it's now on there. It will download it. And this is the beauty. We talked about being a server streamer. Always download the music first and then play it from the Aurender locally. The experience is better.
Okay.
There will be less background noise. You are not affected by your up and downs of your network.
Yep.
Maybe you have a bad provider. Maybe your network is not set up properly. Can all affect that. So I always add it first to my library. So what I did now is I'm going to go back here, and it shows recently played 2,000 favorite songs on Qobuz. You see, always watch for the highlights. Where am I? Purchased? Because if you're in a purchase, I don't really buy music from them. But there is one song there. But I go to my favorites, and then I pick songs, artists, albums. Here's this other thing. You can genres and then the playlists. But let's go to songs, and I want to listen to a specific song. And there's some music on there which my clients just add on a fly in the showroom, which I don't like, but it is what it is. So I added this to it, Requiem. You see, here's the heart. Here it shows you the HR sign. So high resolution means it has to be a 24-bit version. It's regardless if it's a 44.1 kilohertz or 96 or 192. If the HR is not there, that means it's either a 16-bit version or an MP3 or anything else. Okay, or a version which Aurender does not recognize. So long story short, we added this here. Here it shows you the play. You can pause, skip music. Here's the volume, because I said we didn't set it for direct output. We set it also as to work as a preamp, because I like it when I get a phone call or something. Not only can I pause music, I can also raise the volume without having to grab my remote for the preamp. Okay, so as you see, here is the volume control. Here you mute the mute. You just muted the button. So you can pause, skip, mute, raise volume.
All the controls.
So I added one song too. I can do now play now. If I click on play now, disregard these messages. So that means out of these 1,800 songs I have on here, 1823, 4 are not available anymore. Qobuz.
That's a Qobuz thing. Yeah.
That's a Qobuz thing. That means the studio changed copyrights. So whoever they paid before now doesn't own the copyrights.
Yep.
Michael Jackson's family wants more money and says, Qobuz, you need to pay me more. So these are the things which are, everybody blames Qobuz, but it's many times it's not really in their power.
Yeah.
It's this is all digitally protected music. That means if the recording studio, whoever is in, owns the licensing for those songs or albums, and sometimes you will see there's an album and a song cannot be played. That means somebody has the copyright to that one song.
Yeah.
So the studio released the album to Qobuz. Qobuz did what they did to load it to their server, but that one song is highlighted gray. As soon as you see something highlighted gray, it means it's not available. It maybe was, but even when you download it, it will disappear. It will not play, okay? Except if you purchased it.
Right.
Then it stays yours forever, okay? But it says 4, so allow duplicates. Now it's asking you this. This is already in your playlist because I added it manually. I always say, okay, I don't care. If I like this song a lot, who the hell cares? Remember, you will have showing 500. If you want to go to the next 500, you have to scroll down, and as it adds it. But over here, here's a limitation. The queue can only handle 1,000 songs. Okay, even though I have 1823.
Right, only 1,000 can go in.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, let's start with the items we're going to need for the speakers. Here's the accessory box. Just to show you what it comes with. So here we have the box. Comes with a brush, comes with gloves for the speakers, comes with keys to lock the box, Allen wrench, metric. This is to tighten up the little columns which hold the speakers in place. This little piece and this is to set the speaker and lock.
Right.
Just front or back. Front you lock, rear you unlock.
Gotcha.
I will show you that. So this is what you're getting. Baffles.
Yep.
Okay.
To make it sealed.
Yes. If you get too close to walls,
seal it up.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about that before. These speakers are rear ported. So let's start with the setup of the speakers first, because without that. So here's the bass. It comes in a really nice carrying case. This is heavy. This is a heavy bass.
It's very heavy.
Okay. So what they use is Neolit, which is a very famous company which makes high-end countertops for kitchens, etc. So when you turn the bass over, it will tell you where the front is. This is the front of the bass. Very important, because the speaker can only be set in one way. So these are the columns when you set the speakers up. Here you see this screw to tighten it. So untighten it before you set the speaker in. Okay. Okay.
And the screw in.
It will go in and then gonna get locked. Okay. So I'm gonna leave this here. So I set those. And what we're gonna use to lock the speakers, I use a plastic hammer and this piece, it will slide. There's a slot here in the front to lock and unlock, and one is in the rear.
Oh, I see. So that's just like a little extension that
Yes.
that lets you. Okay.
Yeah. So the speaker itself, be careful when you set it up, because the tweeter is here. A lot of people tend to grab this and damage the tweeter. So please grab it from the rear on the handles here. Okay. And then it takes normally 2 guys to guide it.
You need me to come over there and help?
Yes. So I'm gonna raise it up and he's gonna try to guide these in.
We are in.
We're in. So to release that, it's Velcro. To release the top, you release the bottom, and then you have to release on the bottom. There's another pull string. Okay. And then this is where you have to be careful. When you start pulling that up, don't let that pull in, because that's where the tweeter is. Okay, you see it? I mean, it is protected, but
still.
that's the only way how you can damage the speaker during packing and unpacking. And it happens a lot. Okay, so.
That's really tight, yeah.
Okay, so as you see, this is very tight, so this is why you have to be careful here.
And now you're in the safe zone.
Now you're in the safe zone. Slowly. You could tighten the speaker up first. I like to play around with it first. As you know, this is an omnidirectional tweeter. Okay. The worldwide patent is pending. So this tweeter is built by the founder and chief engineer of Bayz Audio, Zoltan Bey. So he keeps it secret. He's the only guy who builds those. So the glass fiber or carbon fiber body is built by the same company who in Hungary who builds the airplanes for Red Bull, and also some chassis for Formula One, etc.
Yeah, it's a beautiful finish on this.
So whenever you see a colored finish, then it means it's glass fiber. And then the top of the line Courante 2s or counterpoint 2s are full carbon fiber, which increases the cost, of course. So this speaker starts anywhere from, depending on finish and base and any other customization, I would say roughly $45,000, $46,000, and goes up to 70. So the options you can do are painted trims, the column, change the base to almost any color you want. Any RAL code finish we can do, even metallic finishes. You know, if you have a sample, you send it to the factory, they can
copy it, they can match.
Yeah, they can match. So will take a little longer. Normally production for any of the custom means any color. Black and carbon are not considered custom, even though carbon fiber is the most expensive. Those he manufactures and has on stock mostly. And in the black finish, he does matte, and of course you can do a matte finish, gloss finish. So limitations on the finishes are endless, you know. And like I said, the stone is neolit. There's a link to the website. You can pick between about 80 different colors. Okay. The bass is heavier than the whole speaker. I think the bass is over 70
pounds. The bass is very heavy.
Yeah. Okay, so let's...
Yeah, I can see this in a big room, and then someone has a Ducati and a Ferrari and a Lambo in the back that are all color matched, and then they color match their speakers to it. Yeah.
We're doing it now for one client. Can't say the name. A VIP in New York, but he wants Ferrari red.
Yep.
So, and then here's the trick. Ferrari red actually has 3 colors, so we narrow it down to which Ferrari red you want.
Right.
Okay, so let's tighten up the column. which is an Allen wrench. Okay, so that keeps the speaker in the column. Now we have to tighten this. And
this is the only time that you're going to pound on a $50,000 speaker.
It seems tight. So there's still a little play on this speaker. We're working with the manufacturer to improve it even more. You know, but another fun factor, these feet actually designed with isoacoustics.
Oh, really? That's kind of cool.
For decoupling. Okay, so there's a couple of really top-notch companies involved in these projects. Zoltan Bay, of course, from Bayz Audio. Then the company who makes the bodies, all high-tech. Neolith, very famous company, produces countertops, etc. Stones out of Spain. And then Isoacoustics developed this for Zoltan. Okay, so let's hook these up and use the risers.
Okay, so you've seen us put these speakers together in this system, and we've taken some time and we've sat and listened to it. And now we're going to talk a little bit about, you know, what we think about the speakers, right? And ultimately, the goal is to understand, you know, what's different or special about the Bayz, right? Because that's kind of the big thing. People have seen the amps and all that kind of stuff before, but these, I think, for most folks, will be new. So, in general, what's the reason people would want these speakers?
I think the biggest advantage of these speakers are the omnidirectional tweeters, because most people have to sit in a sweet spot in front of the speaker to enjoy the best audio.
Right.
But this speaker can be placed pretty much anywhere in the room, fill the room, and you're not going to lose the detail, the vocals, etc. Even if you're off axis, if you're behind them, you're maybe in an open area where their living room is open to the kitchen, you're doing yourself a sandwich, the detail is not lost.
Right.
Okay, so it's one of the big advantages that it sounds good in almost any position, wherever you sit. Do we still want to sit in the sweet spot? Yes, because there is a sound stage. There is where the vocal is going to sound the best. The separation, etc. It needs to be set up like almost any conventional speaker in that case, but it's more enjoyable, especially in awkward rooms, L-shaped rooms, you know, rooms where people may have to sit to the side because otherwise they would be too close. You still can enjoy the speaker. You don't lose the detail. Sound stage is nice. The other thing, what I actually like the design about them, they're different.
Yeah,
okay.
They are very stunning visually.
They're stunning visually. A lot of people are going to say they're ugly. People call them paper clips, whatever. But I look at them and I see like a sculpture, you know. And for me, it's a beautiful speaker. I mean, you know, does it have to be a box speaker to be considered a speaker? I don't think so, you know. This guy, Zoltan Bay, the designer, you know, founder of Bayz Audio, thought he needed to create something different. he wanted to fill a room better. He wanted a natural reproduction. He wanted detail. And that's the concept he came up with, omnidirectional tweeter. Still, it's a bass reflex speaker. So there's still some limitations, like with most other speakers. Do you want to be too close to a wall? No. Okay. So there's some similarities to a conventional speaker, but for me, the design is different. Not everything has to be a box speaker. I like that you can design your speaker how you want it, pick the colors, bass, change even the trimming, whatever. So I think for me, it's a great sounding sculpture. That's how I would describe it. But the importance is that this speaker can fill bigger rooms, can work in smaller rooms. In this room here, we had slight issues.
This is a tiny room, and where the seats are, yeah.
And we are in the wrong direction, where it should have gone. We couldn't because there's a closet there. So we are sitting too close to it. The speakers are a little bit too close to the wall. In my perfect scenario in this room, speakers should have been like 3 feet away. We needed to sit about another roughly 8 to 10 feet away from it. So we really didn't experience the real potential of the speaker. But it is what it is. It still sounded clear, detailed. You didn't feel any listening fatigue.
Nope.
They're not over the top. They're not harsh speakers, as many people describe some speakers, without losing the detail. And that's the most important thing. For me, it's always like, can I hear the things which I can hear in other speakers? Can I hear the drummer? Can I hear the sax player, like pushing air, maybe spinning into the...
Feel it,
Can you hear the picking of the strings on a guitar? Yes, because immense detail, nice dynamics. And as any other speaker, of course, you aim to have the perfect room, which is maybe the only weakness of these speakers, is that they cannot be too close to walls. And maybe because of the smaller drivers, we cannot come down to the low frequencies. But as any other speaker with 7-inch drivers, you would have the same issue.
Yeah, you just add external support for
we still recommend a high-level subwoofer or something, But in general, I love the speaker overall. Very clear, very dynamic, very musical.
Yeah.
Is it a forgiving speaker? No. Because if your recording is bad...
You're going to hear it.
You're going to hear it.
Yeah.
So it's not a forgiving speaker, but what I call it an audiophile speaker, definitely. Definitely.
So I'll echo that, and I think until people really experience an omnidirectional speaker, and there are a handful of them out there, not a lot, but there are some out there. And if you go to a hi-fi show, almost certainly there'll be one set from someone there. But these are really nice because it does allow you to use these two speakers in, I would assume, almost any space and get really great sound no matter where you're at. Now, like you said, if you're not sitting in the sweet spot, you're not going to get the traditional soundstage,
yes.
Right? But the clarity and the sound quality does carry out anywhere inside of the room, which I think is outstanding, right? For me, when you move into speakers at this level, right? So you're not spending, $5,000 on a pair of like box speakers. You're spending a bit more money to get the sound quality, but I think also you need them to be a statement piece, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to spend $50,000 on a set of speakers and not really like the way that they look. And I want them to be something special. And these are absolutely that.
Yeah.
Now, whether people like this style or not, who knows, right? I like it. I think it's really cool. And these are in white. They photograph really well this way, but I think, that picture you showed me of the Ferrari red ones that you're working on, those are gorgeous, right? Those I think, man. And like you said, the customization of these, is super flexible. You can do whatever you want to. That's what you get when you move into this level of speaker, right? You can have that kind of customization. And the piece that also, from a sound quality, that's super important for me is that these are, the tweeters in these are not too hot, right? Some people like that really sharp, kind of harsh, almost, some people will call it the beryllium sound, although beryllium can sound really, really good. But I think you understand what I'm talking about when I say that, where, that sound, when you're listening to someone sing and it's a high pitch or whatever, it does
this. And I don't know what the technical term for this is, but it becomes too harsh and not pleasant. These, no matter what volume we played them at, and we turned them up pretty good, the vocals were smooth and they were natural, and you didn't hear the speaker, if that makes sense. You heard the song. So I really appreciate that. I like them a lot.
To summarize it, I think it's a very well balanced speaker. Covers a lot of flavors. Very smooth, I think, especially when we listen to some of the jazz we picked, like Gene Ammons, My Romance, when he plays the sax and everything. I think it sounded really like a sax should sound. We listened to, what was the guitar before? I forgot, the Requiem.
The Requiem.
Yeah, amazing. You can hear him picking, tapping the guitar. A lot
and the
of
female
detail.
vocal on that was good too. Yeah,
it's a very it's a speaker which plays a lot of good genres. A lot of genres are really good. There are speakers they really a little bit, I call them boxed in, because they play some music really well, others don't. I think we played from jazz to EDM. We played 80s pop.
we played rap, hard rock.
We played a lot of genres, and I think it covers all of them really well.
Yeah.
Anyways, like I said, it's maybe a speaker which is gonna bring out some of the comments like, holy moly, how does this look like? I know this doesn't look like a speaker. Does everything has to look like a box speaker? In my opinion, no. There is MBL out there, different, and I still love it. There's a lot of other brands which don't look really like real speakers, but I think it could be an advantage. Is it a, how to call this? It's a controversial speaker, I would say.
Yeah, it would be polarizing, right? So people are going to fall on one side or another. Folks aren't going to look at it and say, it's just a speaker. They're going to say, oh, that's awesome, or oh, wow, I don't really like that.
No, these are the comments we normally get. It's mostly the extremes. People like either love it or they hate it. But we are here to reproduce music in a natural way, as good as possible, to the intent of the musician or the studio engineer, a recording studio. We want to play the music how it was recorded, with as little of discoloration as possible, and I think it's a very musical speaker, very detailed, very dynamic, covers a lot of the points which an audiophile would like to have in a speaker, and like any other speaker with smaller drivers, I mean, you always want to add a subwoofer or two to a system like that. It will especially help with some of the music you like.
Yeah, electronica.
Electronica, EDM.
It'll really give you that low end.
Yeah, low end, which the problem with these drivers is that they're too small. The designer tried to make them very accurate, fast moving, and he thought at that price point, at that size, he couldn't go bigger, because he still was also really thinking about the design and the form factor and the size, compared to the bigger one, which has 9.5-inch drivers and which can go pretty low.
I want to see one of these in the huge size with like 15s. And the tubes are like 17 inches cylindrical. They had to be like 9 feet tall.
Don't think that will happen. I mean, he's working on a reference one. The bigger one right now has two 9.5-inch drivers. Same configuration. Imagine this speaker 33% bigger. But he is working on a reference with a dual tweeter and bigger drivers. So,
okay, that's cool.
But 15 is most likely not going to happen. We're looking more in the 10, 11-inch range.
Oh, that's still significant.
Yeah, so we are working on one of those, and then we will try to maybe come up with something smaller, and a so-called entry-level speaker.
I want the Bluetooth version, just like, just put it on your desk.
Not going to happen.
You have the little, 2-inch drivers or whatever.
And maybe a center channel, because some people, they are already asking about...
These people?
Yes, these people about a center channel, which we're going to most likely do a horizontal version of this.
Yeah.
But
dude, that would be cool.
But it depends on, Zoltan, the chief engineer and owner, how far he wants to go. But we talked about smaller speakers. We talked about bigger ones. And then we talked about maybe doing center channel something. But I'm visiting him in December in Hungary. And we're going to put our heads together and see what we think is feasible.
Yeah.
What is achievable at those price points. and if it makes sense for him. I mean, he's a strictly high-end audio guy, 2-channel. He didn't really think about expanding into the home theater market. But a lot of my clients have multi-purpose rooms.
Absolutely.
A real media room where he uses this 2-channel audio system in conjunction with the theater. And that's why we want to maybe try to get with some bookshelves, to come out with some bookshelves, maybe a Senate channel, and then also bigger speakers for big rooms and for people who really want to go deep down. Like I said, this is the Courante 2.0. It is a third version. This speaker starts in a basic black matte color at $45,000 a pair, and then depending on the finishes, metallic, if it's high gloss, whatever you come up with, it can go up to the 60s. And then if you don't want to do a full carbon fiber version of this speaker, then it's roughly 70,000. Production time right now is anywhere between 3 and 4 months, which is pretty reasonable for a fully customizable speaker.
Right on. So here's my brainstorm. Zoltan, am I saying it right?
Yeah, Zoltan. Yeah.
Zoltan, if you're listening to this, imagine a cylinder with a 15-inch driver mounted magnet up with your tweeter on top. No top piece, no, just cylinder up, your tweeter on top, 15-inch. Just 2 of those. I'm telling you, man, that's the one. Okay, enough of that. So if somebody wants to hear these speakers, how can they hear them? Where do they go? Who do they talk to?
We're going to be at almost any high-end audio show. The next show we will be in Rockville, Maryland at the
Capital Audio
Fest 2024. Next show will be then in Florida. We're going to do the Florida Expo. We're going to do the show in Dallas.
Yep.
Which is the partner show of Capital Audio Fest, if I remember. And then we will be in LA for the D show.
Yep.
Which is I think in July.
The home entertainment show.
Yeah, home entertainment show. So we will be also in Pacific Audio Fest. And then next year, we're going to also go to the shows in Montreal and Toronto.
Great. And maybe even more important than that, though, if they want to see this outside of a show, they can always go to Vegas, right?
Yes, to Vegas. We have a showroom, 5,000 square feet. We have both models on the floor. Colors will change, configuration will change, but we always will have a small one and a big one in the show for demoing.
And that's AV Luxury Group.
AV Luxury Group, Las Vegas.
Cool, great. Well, I think we've covered it. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for your time.
Oh no, coming in, bringing all the gear. I don't know that the room's ever sounded this good before.
I hope not.
Yeah, it's nice. Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Remember, if you've liked this video, down in the corner, there'll be another video suggestion for you. I think you'll like that one too. Go ahead and click on that one. And if you haven't, go ahead, like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all the normal stuff. And with that, we'll see you in the next video.
Thank you, guys.